Hi, and welcome to the Thinking Out Loud podcast, a show with meaningful conversations in English with non natives. My name is Jendrik,
My name is Masha.
and we are two English teachers who,
Who trust in what they do.
yes,
Do we?
yes, yeah, I have confidence in what I'm doing. If you ask about this,
Yes.
uh, yeah, do you?
Yes.
You don't doubt your methods or
Of
your
course,
approach?
everybody doubts. I mean, of course, you should be doubting. That's,
Yeah,
I think,
because
very
doubting
healthy.
and trusting, I think these are kind of they are not enemies, you know. I mean, doubts and trust, because you have trust in something, but it's kind of healthy
To doubt
room
from
for
time
some
to
doubt,
time.
because you may self-correct yourself on the go.
And the trust will
Otherwise,
only increase, or you correct and you still trust in what you do.
let me say that trust minus doubts equals faith. Because this faith could be blind. I believe blindly in something without a shadow of a doubt.
So it works better for me backwards. So
Well,
faith
you're right.
plus
Yeah,
doubts
doubts,
means trust. Okay,
trust.
this is
Yeah,
better.
yeah, 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 yeah. But but mathematically,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
basically the same.
mathematically, but linguistically, it sounds much better.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
You're right. Linguistically sounds much better, because I think that trust is not blind. And well, having eyes opened, and you may
And having
like I.
doubted.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But you may self-correct yourself, or generally find some flaws, right? Mistakes, and so on. I don't think that faith um, kind of presupposes any correcting, right? I mean, faith is sort of blind, and yeah, and it's just
But you need
something that.
constant confirmations, like, I don't know, miracles to keep believing in it, having faith.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you need some sort of there's a
Something
name
to
for it.
feed your faith.
Yeah, yeah, to feed your faith, of course. In the case of religions, that would be, of course, attending a mass, I guess, and celebrating, holidays and so on. But what about the faith in your government? Because there are, I guess, situations when well, yeah, you may.
Trust, not
This
faith.
is trust. There are so many fanatics these days. We are so polarized
Yeah, they're
that
fanatics, but do you know people who have faith in their government?
yeah, this is actually very shaky. It's a very shaky ground, for faith, because literally every government fails sooner or later. There is no, at least I'm talking about democracy, democratically elected government.
But actually, yeah, I'm thinking of North Korea. The other day, I saw a
Hmm.
picture of all these soldiers, ready to
Hmm.
go and die in Ukraine
Hmm.
for
Yes,
whatever. And they definitely have faith. I wouldn't
they
call
have
it
faith.
trust. They have
I
faith in
mean,
their
yeah, what else is left?
in.
Because remember, no room for the doubts. They can't doubt their leader,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
right? They can't. I mean, this is forbidden. The moment you voice your
Blasphemy.
doubt,
Yeah,
you're, you know,
heretic.
you're dead. Yeah. So I guess only fate is left, for them. Or of course it might be some sort of cunning, acting. Remember, speaking about Kim and North Korea, there was that memorable funeral of his father, I guess, and people were supposed to cry. Because if they weren't crying, they were whipped, or there was some
I
sort of
don't
punishment.
believe all these things,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, but it shows you that if you could only pretend, or I don't know, unless you really felt grief.
Another thing I heard about North Korea is that every household is supposed to have a portrait of their leader. And
Hmm.
in case of fire, this is the first thing you should save.
All
Because
right,
even if you haven't saved it, like you're going to be in trouble. I find it very difficult to believe.
all right. Yeah, this might be an urban legend. I mean, it's so ridiculous, right? That
So ridiculous. Yeah.
yeah, but who knows, honestly? Everything's possible in a dictatorship of this sort, I guess. But I don't know. Anyway, yeah, trust in what we do, trust in what I trust myself generally, that I'm able to teach. I trust that I have this sort of power, but again, this trust also requires some evidence, right? And you get, the feedback, and then you
Hmm.
see how people progress, and so on. So yeah, it reinforces my trust. But I wonder, I told you several times, I think, in this podcast, that my job is basically or goes basically unreviewed. It means that there is no supervisor,
Yeah.
there's no senior teacher who would control me,
Only once
correct
I
me.
had the honor of observing your class.
All right.
It
Yeah,
was recorded.
yeah, you're right. You're right. But that was an observation. You were not in the
Peer
position
observation.
of a senior. Yeah, peer observation. Yeah, which is still good. But yeah, that's true. So I'm sort of I am this kind of a
Him
Kim.
in your own
Yes,
toilet. That.
exactly. Yes. All right. Anyway, we get political here, with trust and faith, um, and knowing that some people say the most important elections in the
Of all
world
time.
of all time. Yes, exactly. Historic and whatnot. They will decide about the fate of this planet. Are coming, and I mean the U.S. elections. So I'm just wondering. I'm curious first if you care, and second, who do you actually trust more of the two candidates, Harris or Trump? Come on, let's play open cards. And of course,
Oh,
I'll tell you my, let's say, impressions or reflections.
of course, I care in the sense that uh, either of them will definitely affect what's going on right now. But the
Hmm.
problem is that nobody explicitly tells us, what they're going to
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we're kind of,
exactly.
something's coming, but what exactly, nobody knows.
Yeah, that very good point. And I feel that right now I mean, we are not making any choices this fall, but generally voters are left to the interpretations of the candidates' intentions provided by the media, by the social media, by this media sphere in general.
Hmm.
It's very hard, but it's no wonder, because we are talking about politicians. Politicians never burn
Explicitly.
bridges,
Yeah.
yeah, or close certain doors. This is not what politics is about, right?
Hmm.
You need to speak in such a way that everything is possible, afterwards. Yes. So um, yeah, so definitely they will have certain impact, but we don't know what impact. We are generally being told that Kamala Harris is the good impact. The- Donald Trump is the bad impact. That is at least, this division like between heaven and hell. I have this feeling. I don't know if this is what reaches your ears and your
Well, the,
eyes.
the the only kind of things we heard is from this guy that it will take him 3 days to finish this
Yeah,
war.
to finish the
You
war. Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so kind of uh it's again, I'm not an American, and I didn't even I stopped listening to my favorite Ezra's shows because
Hmm.
they become all about this. There was not
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
episode about anything else, and I got
The
so
latest episode was about some sort of psychoanalysis of Donald Trump. I found it really bizarre. I turned it off in the middle of or even after, I don't know, 10 minutes of listening. It was like, come on, what is this guy doing? It's analyzing, if Trump is sane or insane, or really getting deep, into the mind of.
so if you kind of try and analyze only the things you hear, you can make a conclusion. Then with this guy, the war will be over in 3 days. We don't know how, but 3 days, cool. And with this lady, it's going to last for some time.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think, what is her position? She's basically going to continue Biden's strategy, but I guess both of them would like,
Yeah, but what was his
uh,
strategy? A teaspoon of
yeah, 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 just
weapons?
giving just a little, yeah, yeah, giving just a little so
Uh,
that, the
yeah,
war doesn't actually end in a defeat of Ukraine, but not giving enough to repel
yeah.
the Russian army.
So if she's going to continue this course, then it's going to last. And this guy
Mhm.
says it's going to end. Give me 3 days. Uh, so I don't know. Hard to say.
It's hard.
Of
What
course,
this?
nobody wants it to last, but how he's going to end it is also a
Yeah, but
very
like I said,
interesting question.
it's they will never say what they are going to do
Of
exactly.
course.
Of course, it's understandable, but once again, they are politicians, right? And
I don't even think they know.
of course, I mean, um, I think this is simply, what we get from these declarations is like, one is a decisive leader who knows what to do, and the other one is at least. Um, she doesn't want, because she doesn't want to uh, let Ukrainians down like immediately, right?
Let them even
Uh,
downer.
yeah, yeah. I think, it's a very interesting game. I call it a game. These elections, because
I
no matter
hesitate to
who.
call it game because for us it's existential. So
It's existential, yeah,
yeah,
but no matter who gets elected at the end, uh, I think that America will behave more or less the same.
in
So it's
terms of
everything in terms of their international strategy, in terms of their policy. There might be, of course, a different flavor to it, but I don't think that the so-called deep state is going to change their mind, about,
oh,
there is a, there are certain trends that are bigger than individual events, and I mean, for example, this kind of shift of balance between Atlantic and Pacific, you know, these kind of things. And I don't know if one person, the president, has actually such great impact. We are being told they do have, but I don't really believe it. There are armies of diplomats, armies of clerks. and so on, who are behind every deal, behind every negotiation, behind every solution. And I don't think the president is just it's a person who has certain impact when it comes to the superficial level and so on. But I don't really think that strategies are decided based on someone's president's, in that case, whim. That, oh, okay, I want to finish the war. Okay, let's finish. Or I want to continue the war. Let's continue.
Well,
I don't
that's
think
his
I don't.
attitude. That's
That's
what
his
he
attitude,
believes
but
in, that he has this power.
yeah, but this is also a part of the campaign, right?
No, no, I mean that he believes that one person has this power in
Mhm.
a country like this. I think that's what he believes in.
You refer to Trump right
Yes,
now.
yes, yes, yes.
All right. It's a very, very interesting personality, I may say, and I don't want to go like Ezra to, the analysis, but to me, Donald Trump is so American, is as American as apple pie. I mean, this is such an American that to me, speaking of trust, I don't know if
Have you met
it's not
very
about
Americans?
no a handful, honestly,
Well,
but he's like this. Let me explain. He's American in the sense that um, it's not only his language, and certain attitude, but also this kind of coming back after failing. Right? He failed to be reelected. He
mhm.
lost against Biden. Now he's coming back. This is so American that if he succeeds and he really gets elected next week, then I guess there is nothing more American
So he's
than
living
such a
American
story.
dream.
He's like, yeah, of course, and he's a millionaire, and so he's American to the bone. And from that point of view, if there are people who understand the United States of America deeper than, or simply deeper, right? They deeply understand what is the United States of America. Then I guess they can somehow even predict and read this guy like an open book because he's so American. I don't have that feeling with Harris, because Harris is, yeah, she's American, of course. They need to be right to be presidents, I mean,
They must be.
in terms of papers and so on, but she's a little bit different. To me, she's hard to read, much harder than Trump.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's of course, and this is what a lot of people are also saying right now, that she's kind of secretive about what she thinks. It's very hard to uh, get her actually to explain or to
Yeah, yeah.
express,
Mhm.
what she's going to do, what are her policies, what are her views on the economy, or lots of other aspects. So, from that point of view, if we speak about trust, I don't trust any of them. I can't, right? But if there is one candidate that is um, easier to predict, and if something is easy to predict, if you know what might happen, then I guess you have more trust in. I mean, is that actually about trust? This predictability? If something is
Yeah, but what
predictable,
if you
can we
think
say
that the
it's
guy is totally nuts? Okay, you can predict
yeah?
his
But even a
actions, but
nut, but even a
how
nut, if
would it
is a
make you
nut,
trust him? You
no,
mean
it's
that
not
it's
about
easier to
trust.
control?
Or if not control, then react, because um, what triggers a certain person,
And
right?
you can be proactive here to
Yeah,
prevent
you can
some
be
stuff.
proactive. Exactly, exactly.
So he's
I
easier to
think
manage if somebody
easier
wanted
to
to.
manage. Yeah, Of course, it might look dramatic in the media, all the tweets, all the, faces and words. But at the end of the day, I think that if I was a leader of a country, then I would have an easier job dealing with this kind of personality than dealing with
Only he is going to be a leader of the country, not, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, but I'm speaking but I'm speaking about other leaders
other
who
leaders.
meet
Okay.
at
Mhm.
G7
Yeah,
or
yeah, 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 yeah.
various other formats. And I think that
Yeah, yeah, take
having
Putin, for example. Everybody
yeah,
says that he's inscrutable, and that's what everybody was talking about at the beginning of the war. Like, what is this guy going to do? Nobody could understand him.
mhm,
So
mhm.
you're saying that it's easier to understand Mr. Trump,
Yeah, I think of course
what he
unless
will or will not do in a particular
yeah,
situation.
I think so, I think so, especially that, we've had already one term of his, 4 years ago,
Yeah,
and I think it gave us certain foretaste, right? And now they say yes, if he gets back, he's going to be even more radical, whatever that means. But that means to me, I say he's going to be even more American. So America is about business. America is about America is about um, I don't know what
greatness.
else behind. Yeah, greatness. Yeah, but yeah, it is kind of vain. It is kind of you know, all these features. America is unlike Europe, right? It's
Very unlike Europe.
yeah, and at the same time, I guess Trump, from this point of view, is a candidate that is clearer. It doesn't mean that dealing with America will be easy, especially for smaller countries, who are in the position, of
It's not even, I would
beggars.
say, they are dealing with America. America is dealing with them.
Yeah, America is dealing with them, but I guess in politics, there is always some sort of trade-off, some sort of a
Yeah,
thing that
if
you
you're
may
China,
trade for something. If you're China,
not
but you
if
talk
you're
about
Ukraine.
yeah, yeah. Um, this is very interesting, to me, how dependent or independent are countries like Ukraine, like Poland, that are, uh, or even France, because I don't know uh, how much independent can a country get in this world, led by one, but right now maybe two superpowers, you know, and everything else is just,
Yeah,
just
but even they, how independent are they?
you mean who? The
The
states and
superpowers.
China? Superpowers. But
Yes.
who would they be dependent on? Aliens?
Well, they can't do whatever they want.
Um, yeah, they can't because there are limits of power,
Yeah.
of course. Of course. There are limits of military power and soft power too, for sure. But this is a different type of a question, right? Than
Yeah, yeah.
than yeah, because they could do whatever they want. It's only a question of costs, at what costs.
Well, then we could also do whatever we want, only the
It's a
costs.
question, yeah, it's a question of costs, exactly. It's a question of
Everybody
costs.
can do whatever they want, but if they're willing to pay the price.
Yes. All right, it's interesting. But coming back to the American elections, do you have any um, I want to say preference, because it's not up to you, of course, but do you have any sentiment to any of the candidate?
I don't know. It's very, very difficult. Uh, I know this guy is just a populist. Yes.
Mhm.
I remember I listened to one podcast when they were basically dissecting what it means, what he says when he says
Hmm.
that I'm going to, protect American businesses by, I don't remember what is it, introducing some tariffs or something like this.
Hmm.
And many people just hear it as, wow, cool. It means that, he has my interests first. But what it really means is a very different thing. And you need to think, to understand this.
Hmm.
But but I don't know, the way mm, the present administration is behaving, they're not demonstrating uh I don't know, they are not brave enough, bold
Hmm.
enough.
Hmm.
And this guy is super bold. So I don't know. Honestly, it's
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
difficult.
exactly,
Very
exactly.
difficult.
That um, from this perspective, I see that even among my friends, it's natural, and in my friends, but then other circles, my social media, and then the media, European media, and so on, the whole discourse. It's quite easy for people to uh, join camps. There's camp Kamala, camp Trump, without even kind of it's all based on certain emotions, I would say, because we can't speak about
Yeah,
facts
I
because
can't
facts haven't
join
arrived
any
yet.
camp because I haven't done my homework. I'm not really deep into
Right.
this. If I had, I would have, a more, I
Me
don't know,
neither, Masha,
educated
but
opinion.
the one thing I'm afraid of is that there is no deeper thing. Because what do you mean you haven't done your homework? That you haven't read all of
I haven't
their
even watched
public
their debates. Have you seen the debates?
just clips, Of course, I mean it's super boring to someone like me. But at the same time, I don't
Well, I mean,
think
something I would normally do if it was about elections in my country, if there were two candidates, I would do some homework, I would, pay more attention. But this is what I'm not doing right now. And that's why
this is
I hesitate. I don't want to form an opinion based on, like you say, emotions, who, is more handsome. Well,
yeah, yeah,
basically
but
stuff
there are
like this.
I think it's a misfortune, but in democracies these days, democracies that are powered by digital media and so on, it actually comes down to this. Maybe it always has, but
You
it
mean
comes
you
down
don't even
to
have to listen to what they say because
I
it's
don't think so. There are certain
all
there are certain auras
said
created
in
around.
certain, you mean the
Yeah.
wording always leaves room for interpretation? Makes no sense even to listen to what they say.
I think the tools of the political PR went so far that right now you don't vote because someone said something in particular, but you vote because that person is associated with certain ideas, and
Hmm.
that person is associated with something else. And usually these ideas are totally vague, like this is democracy, this is the end of
Yeah,
democracy.
vague. Okay, but what if I was, for example, if this topic of, I don't know, abortions or immigrants was very, very
Hmm.
close to um, the bone for me?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because there are some, very, very very clear, very
Yeah,
direct
you're right.
things.
Especially in the field of culture, like you say, abortion or the rights of the minorities and so
Yes,
on.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you're right. But
What
these
if an
people
immigrant
haven't.
took my job? I don't know. Of course, I would vote for Trump.
Yeah, but this is just one element of a much larger set of policies, right? That you don't even know if that choice, let's say, if you choose just based on the attitude to abortion or immigration, if you choose only based on that, if it's not going to bite your ass because they are going to impose taxes or something else, and plenty of other regulations that will ultimately make you worse off than if there were 100,000 immigrants in your town, new immigrants, I mean.
Mm.
So that is what this is
So
so
it's
tricky,
just a show.
I have a feeling that,
The better
yes, I mean,
showman wins.
yeah, the better showman wins.
Or
That is
whoever is
true.
able. Today I saw that Eminem supported
Mhm.
Kamala Harris.
All right.
So, whether you have Eminem or you
Yeah, and
have Elon Musk or you have
yeah,
Taylor
you're right.
Swift or you have whoever
Exactly.
else.
You've got like this is like an all-star game, to me, East and West, And you've got superstars on each team. And now, if you prefer, this team or this and that superstar, and that superstar happens to be in the camp of candidate, this or that, A or B, then you may follow. Yeah, this is a really
Yeah, but the
dangerous
star, but
thing.
celebrities, let's say, I remember this Taylor Swift post. She also, when I think all of them choose to support one of the other candidate, they say why, what influenced this decision, and
Hmm.
if it speaks to the values of their followers, then it's not like only because Taylor Swift, but why did she do it?
Hmm.
Because of this I don't remember, was it childless? He was attacking his Vince, the one who is running for vice president, yeah,
Yeah, Vance, I guess.
Vance, yeah. He was attacking childless people, that they should not be allowed
All right, all right,
to
all right.
vote because why they're not interested in the future of this country because they don't have children,
Yeah, you
like.
don't have children. Yeah.
And she expressed clearly why she decided to support him. And if
Hmm.
it speaks to me, I mean, as imagine if I'm her follower, I wouldn't, support the candidate she supported only because she's the artist I listen to.
Hmm.
I need to understand why she did it. I don't know. So it's not only
Yeah, yeah,
because
you're
she's
right.
a star.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, at least she has an argument, right? And
Yes, yes,
and
yes, yes.
and she's I wish I had such clarity of vision in my political choices because I don't know what is Masha your history, but in my case, I voted really various parties, and I'm not like sticking to one and only, but I got my trust has been failed so many times, that it's
Mm.
even getting on my nerves, that I'm getting fooled like that, you know. And of course, I'm not so much into politics, like I'm not. So usually my choice, I formulate my choice um, right before the election day. I mean,
Based
like
on what?
based on I don't know some kind of
Is it a
reading, some
conscious?
kind of don't
I
don't laugh,
wish.
don't laugh, but there was even an app for it, because you had to take certain policies that you endorse or that you approve of, and certain policies you don't, right?
Hmm.
Like that
And you
was like
just see how.
and then the app was giving you the political party, because that was parliamentary elections I'm talking about,
Mm.
was giving you the result of a political party that is closest to your mix
How
of.
cool is that?
That's great. But and I followed that, and I can't say I'm happy. I simply can't
So
say,
why is
because
that? Because they simply lied. They never implemented those policies.
the word lie is a strong word. I don't think it's done explicitly, but that's what politics is about. I mean,
Yeah,
um,
but I mean, one thing, if they promise something and never delivered on their promise,
mhm,
yeah, they let you down. But the other thing is that um, you are disappointed. You feel that were let down because this policy turned out to be, like you said, I don't know, bit you in the ass.
Yeah, but what if you, as a political party, it's quite different maybe with presidential candidates, especially in countries like the United States. But what if your political party it gets into a coalition of other
Ah,
parties,
okay.
partners, and so it's, and this responsibility is totally diluted. I mean,
Okay, yeah. Hmm.
what can I do? I've got my partners. We have to work together. We'll try to do this or that, but we can't.
Yeah, at least
So
maybe we didn't deliver on our promises, but at least we didn't allow
yeah,
the bad guys to
yeah,
do what they
exactly,
want.
and yeah, and this is something for you to be happy about. That
Ooh.
at least the bad guys are not in the government, but on the other side, um, somebody said that the democracy is a system where those who rule have greater power than the kings, in some monarchies, because you may do a lot without a trace of responsibility,
Ah,
because you
nobody's
might,
going to chop your head off.
he was, yeah, yeah, but it's really interesting, you may not deliver on your promises and you can survive and even be reelected.
Mm. Mhm.
This is a really tricky system. But like I said, um I don't think that whatever they say, and I'm actually quite curious about that, because usually before you may base your choice on what a given candidate said. It seems logical and reasonable,
Reasonable,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they say that. But then you can't trust these words, whether they are, words that you like or words that you dislike. Even those that you dislike, you can't trust them. Because, if Trump says, I'm going to finish the war in 3 days, can you trust these words? I mean, no. Whether you like that solution or not, it's a separate problem. But you cannot trust these words. And the
So how
same,
do you
like,
develop a trust for this particular person if it's not based on what he says,
yeah,
what he looks
and
like?
yeah, it comes down to certain, I think there is a possibility to kind of read the candidate or a political party in a different way than what is being shown outright.
So which way?
Um, yeah, I'm just thinking, but I guess I don't know. But and you have to remember that there is a team of specialists uh, who specialize in public relations, in PR, in creating image, in body language, in everything, behind candidates, behind parties, behind the banners, and you have to kind of avoid all of that and discover, what is the true in what are the true intentions, the policies, and so on. Unless this is not interesting, the true intentions and so on. Maybe the true intention is I want to stay in power.
Yeah,
And
I have a totally idealistic and naive idea of, how to choose your leaders. They're just supposed to be good people. I think it's like for
yeah,
a teacher. You need to be a good person. That's it. So how do you make sure that good people get elected? It's a huge number of people, voting.
hmm,
So I have no chance, like all of the people who live in this country, to, you know, we never get to communicate, to be around these candidates, to understand, to make our own impression. So what we should do, we should, for example, I live in a building. It's a 16-floor building. Okay. So I can start hanging out with my neighbors, and I choose. We all people who live in this building, we choose the best person in our building.
hmm,
Okay. Then all
hmm.
these best people from our neighborhood come together and hang out, and choose the best person there. And,
Yeah, yeah,
you
I get
go
it.
on like this. And then
Yeah,
the good people will choose the best person to become the president.
But so you kind of
There is actually a term for this when I don't vote, but I choose my represent. It's a representative system of something like this.
yeah, yeah,
I
you're right,
don't
you're right,
vote
you're right.
directly, but I choose my
Hmm.
representative who I trust will make a good
Yeah.
choice on my behalf.
Yeah, there are systems like that.
Yeah.
This is not the direct democracy,
Mhm.
but some sort of representative or whatever we name it.
And I'm actually
Uh,
very radical. I don't think that everybody should be given a right to vote. Exactly because, people, how they form our, I don't know if you have this in Poland, but in Ukraine, it's,
hmm.
this, mm, okay, we call these people, they basically retired people. They are
Hmm.
the poorest people in the country.
Hmm.
But there are a lot of them, and they usually go and vote,
Hmm.
unlike young people.
Hmm.
So right now it's much harder to do, but let's say 30, 20 even years ago, the candidates would just send people with, you know,
Sausage
a
and
pack of
vodka.
buckwheat. Buckwheat is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
word we
yeah,
use
exactly. Buckwheat. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and so you vote for a pack of buckwheat. What kind of system is it going to be? So I don't think these people should be allowed to vote. You need to pass some exam or
But
something,
Masha, but even if I agree 100% with what you say, but the election of the representative of these people would be equally corrupted. I mean, that buckwheat would simply
No,
appear
no,
at
of
a
course
lower
we
level.
the buckwheat must be must die, I
Yeah.
mean that I know, for example, but right now it's very difficult to do because there are no communities. Communities are dead, basically. Because a long time ago you lived in a small village, you knew everybody,
Civic
everybody knew
society, you mean?
exactly who the good people were. Right now,
Yeah.
in my 16th floor building, I know a handful, like, no, I can recognize these people if I see them somewhere in
Yeah.
another neighborhood.
Wait, wait,
Maybe
wait,
a
Masha, do you
couple.
even know who's living there? I mean, I remember
I
living
see
in a
them in the
10
elevator.
floor 10th floor block of flats. And, honestly, if you live in a big city like Kiev, I imagine Warsaw, you have absolutely no idea who's living on the same floor, not
No,
to
I know
mention
these
two
people.
floors
It's not
down.
that, but it's not that we are on, you know, any terms. Okay, not any
All
terms. I
right.
just can.
Yeah, yeah,
I
okay.
know
Yeah, yeah,
these
but
people, but yeah, today it's probably not possible because how would I know if they're good people or not?
mhm.
So
Yeah,
maybe
but you're right. I
100
agree that
years
it
ago,
comes
yeah.
it comes down to the civic society associations, this kind of life that
Not
is
even associations, but a community when you
but
have.
community is kind of composed of associations, various associations, people who get together, basically spend time together, right?
No, you just live together and you rely on each other. You don't have to,
Mhm.
go play tennis association or something like this. Like
But
if
how
you're
do you
my neighbor,
imagine?
sometimes you will look after my children. I will look after your children. Something like this. If you need
Ah,
help
yeah, okay,
painting the
okay, I get it,
walls,
I get it,
I will
I get
help
it.
you, you help me.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, if I'm cooking something and there is no salt, it was not a problem for me to knock on my neighbor's door and ask for some salt.
Yeah, mythical. Yeah, this is like a symbolic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
that you
milk
go
or
and borrow.
whatever.
You're right. But it's interesting, it gets us back to the conversation about the system, It has eliminated the need for salt, because right
Yes,
now
yes.
everything's available. You don't have it, you call Uber Eats or some kind of a delivery platform, that can deliver everything for a small fee. So you're right, this social cohesion um,
Yeah, and first you ask
was
them to pick up your child from school. Next thing you
yeah,
celebrate together something.
yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
dinner together. And you get to know these people. You form an opinion. Are they good people or not?
Mhm.
So
I was,
it's like
the other day.
reputation comparing
uh,
to
uh,
image. You know?
yeah, great. Also, this is a great, great pair of concepts, But it's One thing that I like about my town in France is that there are plenty of associations. And there's even one day in the year when all these associations, have their stands. You can go and you can visit, ask what they're doing, and and
And
see
what are
also
they
what they're doing.
doing? What kind
A
of
lot
associate?
from modeling, like building some models of Messerschmitts,
Ah,
uh,
okay. So
to
it's basically people gather together to do
yeah,
something
who
together,
share interest,
share
people who
interests.
share the same interests. This is something I was lacking in Poland, unless I was unaware that such associations existed. But this is something that I was really missing. And let's say that you want to go and play tennis, right? Today in Kiev, what do you
Yeah, I
do?
know a place.
Okay, you know a place, but
You
do
can
you have a
come there,
partner to
rent.
play with?
Ah, okay,
Or
no.
yeah, that is the
If I
problem,
have a
right?
partner, yeah,
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
and
I mean, you
rent
have to
the
find,
table.
yeah, you have to find, some sparring partners
Mm-hmm.
to play with, because otherwise you can just play squash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or of course, accidentally, if there is someone who comes at the same time, but then there's a question of who's paying for the court, and all of that. Of course, you can
And the
buy the
level of
gym
players, yeah, maybe just
and
like
the level, exactly. And thanks to associations, for example, you just join an association. They don't care about that, because there are people who are your level, who have the same interest. Like, I'm playing basketball right now in one of the associations. So basically they rent the gym for whatever. It's usually late in the evening, like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. It's not maybe super comfortable. At least, the gym is free. All the training sessions of children and everyone else have finished. So we get together. We love the sport. We play basketball. We have fun. I would never find, you know, five guys, not to mention 10 guys. Or what we've got is maybe 15, maybe 17, so there's quite a lot of people, and we
mm.
can easily play 5 on 5. We can play different games, it's so on. And
Yeah, but that's not the same when you just share an interest and you practice or do something together than when you actually rely on each other's help.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
that
very
is true.
different.
However, there are certain events, like from time to time, we order, or rather the association, because they pay, we pay, of course, some fees, right,
Hmm.
to be members of the
Hmm.
association. But then we get certain perks, not to mention, of course, the fun that we have playing a given sport. But let's say there is some kind of a get together, they order pizza or something. This is a time where you can actually talk to people, not just play basketball. Even though, of course, certain relationships develop naturally, right,
Hmm.
over the course of time. But you're right. This is still. mm, but I don't know how to build social cohesion in a different way than through such associations that gather people who share the same interests. Because these days everything is, mm, atomized and sold separately. you know,
Yes, yes.
like picking up children from school and other stuff. It's quite, the other day. We were supposed to talk about the American elections, but we talk about civic society. But the other day, our friends asked us if they can bring their boy to us at 6:30 a.m. because they had some urgent visit in a hospital, I think, or something like that. And we said,
And the
yeah,
school
no problem.
starts
Yeah,
later.
of course, the school starts at 8, or even later. So yeah, we said no problem. It's a pleasure, to help you and so on. But these are such rare moments. It's like this was a desperate situation. six
Yeah.
thirty a.m.
Mhm.
I need to go and so on. But um, I have a feeling that um, yeah, it's just emergencies, right now that kind of make us depend on each other because we don't like dependence, we don't like
Mm-hmm.
to depend, or we don't like to owe things to others. Like I owe you a favor,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and what's even more, I believe that they would like right now to repay that and have a balance sheet clean. It's equal.
You
I
would prefer to pay for everything using money.
And
You
this
don't
way,
want,
yeah,
yeah,
this way, everything's fine with everybody, right?
yeah, yeah,
I don't owe you anything because you got paid,
yeah,
and you don't owe me anything because you provided the service, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think, but can we blame money for that? It is, I think we are reaching down to, the motivations of capitalism. Sorry to say that,
That's why
but
we are so lonely.
yeah, yeah. But people, there is a feeling this is deeper. This is deeper in our hearts than just and apparently it's a global phenomenon that we don't like dependence. There is certain yearning in the human heart. That I don't want to be dependent. I want to be independent.
No, I think it's
I don't know
very
if this. I
recent. I
know
think it's very recent thing.
and it's very Western.
It's this, yeah, very it's this freedom. You're
Yeah,
free,
yeah. This is the cowboy,
and
who
yeah,
who's independent, who's got his own gun, six shooter, and he can solve every problem. Yeah, but this is what is happening today in the blocks of flats. You don't have salt, but you don't want to be dependent. You don't want to mess into someone else's life, like knock on the door and interrupt and ask for
even knock on the
whatever.
door is I mean, I would never open the door during the day if somebody knocked on my door without
Hmm.
phoning me first.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So that goes really, really far. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that is. And and we may speak about these European, after all, experiences, and I think it's quite different in the States still, right? There is atomization, of course, especially big cities and so on, but I think the United States are still much more coherent as a society, even though there are these two camps. I don't know how it happened, honestly. How did it how did it ever happen in a society that is full of such, wonderful initiatives
I
like
think they're very automized. Well,
atomized,
atomized,
automized too, automized
automized,
too.
atomized. Yeah. I don't know. Why you think they are a coherent society?
It to me, the United States of America is, it's especially the rural United States of America, the heartland. It's actually about helping each other out. It's about the Sunday schools and little leagues,
Ah,
and
actually, yeah, small towns.
about yes, small towns are all about kind of helping each other out in various ways,
And you
organizing
glean
events.
this from what? From movies?
Unfortunately, this is the soft power, I don't have any experience from the field, field trips, no, but I guess there is a grain of truth in it, right?
Yeah.
That even the fact that this stereotypical American neighborhood has no fences around their
Mm,
possessions.
mm,
How
mm.
cool is that? What kind of
Yeah.
trust is that? Go to any European
Yeah.
uh, uh,
Fences is
countryside,
so
or
expensive. It must be so expensive.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
half, it costs like half of your house, but you must
yeah.
erect a fence. That's the first
You
thing you do.
must erect a fence. Of course, you may use just the metal. What is it, net or
Mm. Hmm.
but
Metal net.
it may be cheaper. Yeah, maybe cheaper Maybe some fences are super fast, and then on top of that, you may install a camera and I know a minigun, just in case. But yeah, this is also symbolic, right? And
Hmm.
the fences, it's like get out from my possession. This is my possession, and it's not just the fact that I've got a paper because this should be enough, right? This is
Yeah.
mine. You can't spend time on my lawn because it's my lawn. It's kind of, it goes without saying, but there's also a fence physically prohibiting you
Hmm.
from entering on my possession. I remember it was a long time ago, but when I was in Slovenia, there was actually quite a lot of places I was traveling by train without fences. So there's like countryside houses without fences. I was like, oh my God, this country is so cool.
No, I don't remember about
But I don't
Slovakia.
know.
Hmm.
No, Slovakia is probably similar to Poland,
Mm.
Czechia. It's like, of course, we use fences. I mean, and the higher and the stronger, the better.
Yeah.
I see this is a great business. Gates
Mm.
to the possession. Like gates, and I mean like these are like gates to a prison. Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
heavy and secure. All right, so um, it's actually quite funny, but with all that, uh, yeah, the elections happen, and those who run in elections, they exploit these vulnerabilities of people, right? And of course, those who design candidates' images and so on, because I don't believe that you can honestly be yourself these days. However, when I look at Trump and Harris, I think Trump is much more himself, at least maybe has better PR guys than Harris. Harris is totally plastic. Like Harris is, I have a problem with
Too many spin doctors.
yeah, spin doctors. Exactly.
Yeah, I
she's a
guess he's
product.
a real thing that you can give him that. I think
Yeah,
that's
I mean, he's
what
not.
you see is what you get.
Yeah, what you see is what you get. And this is a simple guy and who went very far, of course.
Hmm.
So he needs credit for that, but and he has all the American features, like he doesn't let up, and so on. But at the same time, I have a feeling that he's more himself. He is who he is, and he's not the most mm, cultured and educated person on the planet, but at least he's himself, unless, like I say, unless there are spin doctors doing it. But I don't think it's that much as in the case of Harris. Harris is just I saw her on a podcast in that
With these girls
yeah, these girls.
about
It's
blowjobs.
actually one. Yeah, the podcast about blowjobs. Exactly. But they it's actually one girl, Alex Jones, as far as I can remember, who's running this podcast. She has various guests, and so on. So they usually talk about girly stuff, but she
I
had
honestly
Kamala
tried
Harris.
for 5 minutes. I developed terrible toothache and couldn't.
You tried
This
the podcast
podcast.
with Kamala or the
No,
podcast
the
with
podcast you sent.
the one with blowjobs.
I didn't
Yeah,
even get to blowjobs. I'm sorry.
I was, of course, I think I was driving or I was somewhere, like this is typically where I listen to podcasts, but I was really listening for these blowjobs to
When do they
to
finally? Yeah.
but that message was covered. I mean, it was they probably mentioned, but and I have a vague feeling I know where it was, but it was very brief, and it wasn't like speaking about the techniques of
Not very.
blowjobs or
That's what you
or
were
or
waiting
you know
for.
I
You.
was I was kind of I was
Okay, you
kind of
wanted to
hoping that they
recommend it
will
to somebody.
yeah, I was kind of hoping that they would elaborate on that, but I guess it was just a magnet for the listeners, like myself, blowjobs, and you put it was put first,
Yeah.
so that's what we're gonna do with this podcast. I'm gonna put American elections, even though we talk about everything, but American elections. All right. Fine, but
So what are your who are you rooting for?
once again, I'm totally impartial because
Mhm.
this is not my cup of tea. I just hope that the winner, whoever it is going to win fair and square, and that means no cheating. I believe there might be quite a mess after the elections, no matter who wins, because if Kamala Harris becomes a president, then there are going to be riots. I'm pretty sure, they cheated, and there will be another, storm on Capitol, maybe,
Mhm.
whatever. If Trump wins on the other side, I think there will be a massive outcry in the media,
Mhm.
like they call it legacy media, like CNN, CNBC, or others, who basically are totally, totally rooting for Democrats. They are even blinded to the point. I have a feeling that we are speaking about faith in Kamala Harris, not trust. Really, because they don't even doubt, this is the candidate is the best, and Trump is just going to sink our democracy, below any imaginable level. And I have a feeling this is really dangerous
Mhm.
about what I see. This is the danger on the liberal side. Let's call it like that. Let's say that. And again, I'm not really a huge fan of this division between the populist and liberal because these concepts lost their meaning totally.
Yeah.
What is but that liberal media, liberal side, I feel that they are falling into some kind of a mental rut. They are totally unable to doubt, totally unable to reflect, and I think it's dangerous, because they are somehow, of course, they do it because they want the bad guy not to be elected. Of course, they're trying to kind of prevent the bad guys from winning,
Yeah,
but at the same
but at the
time,
end of the day, he is a result of what's happening to them.
exactly, exactly. So I think this is a dead end street, honestly. And the farther we go,
Damned
into
if
this
I do,
21st
damned if I
century,
don't.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So
We
the
are really
future is
lacking the middle.
grim.
It is kind of grim. I mean,
Ah.
no, I mean, if you look at certain trends, right, the polarization, and so on, I don't know how to repair that. Honestly, I don't know. And there are people on both sides of the political spectrum who are responsible for that. And I don't know. Definitely the middle ground is being um, basically uh, taken by the extremes. And there's no middle road, so to say.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think it's super dangerous. Yes. Yeah. I
Well,
think
we can
just
only wait
coming
and
back.
see.
We can only wait and see exactly. Eat our popcorn or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What else is left to do? But I just want to say, coming
With a
back
grain
to
of
to
salt.
to the result, who I think is going to be better for Europe, let's say, from European perspective. uh, it is generally said that Harris is a better, more pro-Atlantic, pro-NATO, pro-European candidate. But I think that Trump, however hostile he may be to certain European ideas, or he may also impose tariffs. Let's not forget about that. They speak a lot about it. So, but I think he may actually wake up certain tendencies, or he may basically be a wake up call for Europe. Let's get independent. Let's invest more in the armies. let's
Hmm. Hmm.
let's kind of distance ourselves from the United States, but in a healthy way. So let's become partners and not just takers of the American aid, and military help and so on. So I think Trump paradoxically may have a better impact on
Mm.
Europe than in the long term, of course, than Harris, who'll be playing like, yeah, we are still Europe, but we have to go to the Pacific as well. So blah blah, and then is smooth talking Europe into slumber.
Mm.
So I guess Trump, from that point of view, is like a
True
bell.
disruptor.
Yeah, disruptor, but I read an article and that was in some kind of a serious publication like Wall Street Journal or The Economist, I can't remember, but actually the first presidency of Trump had a positive impact on Europe in terms of its economic performance and so on. And I don't mean that there were deals signed, but basically Europe got more independent energetically and so on. I don't know about this
And
energetic
yeah.
independence, but yeah, this is a different story. But anyway, if there's a guy who's imposing tariffs and so on, you always look for ways to handle this, and you have to work hard you know to keep your level of a standard of living or whatever. And I
Well,
don't
let's
think.
when we in I don't know 4, 5, 6 years time, let's remember what you said to see
All
if
right,
it
great.
came true.
So, Masha, to finish off this conversation revolving around American elections, but not really being about America, how could it be, with us?
Yeah,
Uh,
experts.
but but we are 1 week before the elections. Who's going to win? It's just one candidate. What do you think? And then we're gonna
Well,
check,
from
and then
where we are now, it looks like Trump.
all right. I'm saying Trump too. I'm saying Trump too. And the markets are saying Trump. Everybody's saying Trump, unless there is a final kind of reversal of fortune. But yeah. All right. So
So this was another episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye bye.
bye bye.